Guys, you gotta see this. I want you to listen to this student. It's very important that you hear everything he has to say, really. So I'm gonna just let it play. Listen very closely.
Real loud. Christianity is not a European religion.
Man, you're awesome. Christianity is not a white European faith religion. Keep going, brother. I like
So
you.
Jesus wasn't white. like
Jesus
you.
was not white. Keep going.
So he looked more like, the Jews. He was a Jewish man, right? So he was kind of brown. And even though, the Europeans brought European culture to Africa, for example, I'm from Nigeria, right? So the missionaries came to Nigeria and they set up schools and all that. So one thing you need to ask yourself is, why did the people there choose to accept this religion? And one of the reasons why they chose to accept this religion was that some of the values being propagated by this religion already aligned with their values. So for example, the Igbo people we call, they had names that they would call God, right? The Yorubas, they had names that they would call God. So they had a framework for these things already, right? So the Europeans came in and they brought the Christian religion, and immediately these people accepted it. Now, the missionaries came before the colonial masters came. So it was after the missionaries came in and they set up schools and missions and all those things that, British started the colonial endeavor in Africa. So Christianity already had a strong foundation in Africa, even before the British came in with colonialism, the French came in with assimilation, and the British came in with association. So these people already had a foundation for the idea that there is God. And some we call God Oloru, some, like where I'm from, they call God Ogene, right? So these people, the missionaries came in and they said, okay, this is Jesus that you're talking about. So I can stay here. I have class in a few minutes. I can stay here and give you like historical facts about, how these people already had an idea of who Jesus is. And the Europeans came in and they just, put more structure into the understanding that they already have.
I know that Nigeria was colonized by England,
Yeah.
and that the north of Nigeria is mostly Muslim,
Yeah.
and that the south is south
Christian.
where the ports were,
Yeah.
where the English came,
Yeah.
is mostly Christian.
Yeah.
So, do you think that is a coincidence?
No, that is not a coincidence. So what the Muslims do is they go to a region and they force the people to accept their faith. So if you don't accept, they kill you. So he carried out that jihad from the north. He conquered several territories, and then he was coming toward the south. So it was I don't know if you've heard of the Benin Kingdom. The Benin Kingdom, it was the army of the Benin Kingdom in Auchi, Edo State, that stopped the advance. So that is why some parts of Auchi in Edo State, Nigeria, they are Muslims, because that was where the jihad stopped. So the reason most of those places are Muslim places today is because there was a Muslim army that carried out a jihad. And, even some of the Muslim regions today in Europe, it was basically the same reason. They carry out what they call holy war, and they take it to different territories. If you don't accept the faith, you are slaughtered. So that is how they set up those Muslim empires in different parts of Nigeria.
Do you know how far back Christianity or Islam or anything dates in Africa, or was it there prehistorically, or did it come mostly from the Middle East?
If you look at places like Ethiopia and Egypt, Christianity was already there early, pretty early, right? So, like I said, it was there even before Europe. But if you look at Ethiopia had this kind of relationship with Israel.
Yes.
So there were also Jews in Ethiopia.
Yes.
So they already had a foundation for the Christian faith, right? So looking at Islam, I may not be completely right about this, but most of the spread of Islam in Africa, even in Egypt, was due to jihad. But I know about Nigeria, the spread of Islam in Nigeria is due to jihad. But I'm not so sure about some of the northern countries, northern African countries that are Muslims. But I know in Egypt, it's due to jihad, carrying out holy war. In Algeria, because Algeria had a very strong Christian community even before the Muslims came in. I think it was Saint Augustine was moving through, Algeria and those northern African countries even before the Muslims came in. They had, there was a Coptic church, they had monasteries in northern Africa even before the Muslims came in. So the spread of Islam in those parts of Africa was due to a holy war. And that is how the spread. And I believe that is how the spread in a lot of places in Europe as well. So let you know is this: Jesus loves you, and it's more than a religion. It's a relationship. See, I grew up in a Christian home, but I didn't know Jesus. I'm a grad student here. It was when I got to university in Nigeria, University of Benin, that I saw people that were on fire for God. That I saw people that were